this opens up on one of the ugliest instances of black and white cinematography that I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a scene where we're introducing the Arthurian lore element of the story, and Nimue is a blood witch, and she's trying to bring the apocalypse or what. She's spreading a plague to kill everyone. Arthur and his knights stop her, and they trap her in collectathon boxes throughout the planet. Not mother boxes per se, but boxes for sure.
It's very similar.
The mother boxes.
But this scene is the ultimate underlying example of the behind the scenes shit that was going on throughout the entire production process, because one of the deleted scenes included on this is the original cut of that scene, which is as a starter, it's not in black and white.
It's in color. Yeah. It's almost like they shot it in color, and then when the studio must have said, hey, I think this needs to be in black and white because people won't understand that it's a flashback. and then they put it in black and white, and it looks like crap because it wasn't shot for that.
Yeah, no, like, the original version of the scene isn't, like, amazing looking, but it is a vast improvement, like, immediately.
Yeah. Well, the original version, assuming... We're just gonna assume it's the Neil Marshall cut. It's very fantasy-like.
Hashtag release the Neil Marshall cut.
Unironically, yes. I would love to see some sort of semblance of what his original idea for this movie is.
Yeah, what he was trying to do. Yeah. No, because, it has more of a, like, the early 80s Excalibur adaptation. Like, it has, like, this, like, weird, dirty fantasy thing that I, like, enjoy.
With these really cool, like, vibrant hues to make it look like, fantastical. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole point of the scene. But then with all the color stripped and there's no contrast to support the black and white, it just looks like dreck. And then on top of it, they added a narration from Ian McShane's character who plays Hellboy's dad.
The year is 517 AD, known as the Dark Ages. And for fucking good reason.
For no fucking reason, when the whole entire scene, as it's originally cut, is told through dialogue. And I'm rewatching the Blu-ray today, the one thing I caught was there's a point where Ian McShane is like, and then Arthur showed up to the tree.
And so at Pendle Hill, beneath an ancient oak tree, King Arthur were forced to surrender to Nimue.
And then the next line of dialogue is Nimue saying,
"The great King Arthur comes to Pendle Hill."
Arthur, you're at the tree.
They chop the scene up. They cover it with a bunch of, like, shitty dialogue. Like, they call it the Middle Ages for a fucking reason or whatever. It's fucking terrible. It's, like, so immediately off-putting. And the deleted scene version is perfectly fine. I liked it, like, well enough that I would have felt better going into the film.
It went for something, which surprised me. I was so surprised by how different it was. I honestly, like, if that was the opening of the movie, I would have had way higher expectations.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you still would have been disappointed, I guess. But
Well, yeah. But
it does actually, on the assumption that scene, like, the differences in that scene are emblematic of what Neil Marshall wanted for the movie, which, based on the information we have, is likely true. Like, it seems like he had a much grander, more fantastical vision for this, and then they chopped it up into some Deadpool bullshit.
For some reason, thought that the audience was too stupid to understand, like, anything that wasn't, like, directly stated in your face. It's black and white. That means it took place in the past.
And that's so funny because, like, this movie is so reliant on exposition and flashbacks, and there's so many other flashbacks in the movie that aren't in black and white.
Yeah. So it's like, why did you bother?
One of the other deleted scenes that I thought was cool and could have just been in it because it was only like 30 seconds long is, and it plays to the theme that Hellboy is being seduced by Nimue.
Yes, that's exactly what I said when we watched it. It helps you. It's like, oh yeah, wait, she's trying to, like, be a seductress and, like, use her sexual appeal to get in Hellboy's head. And that's not something you see throughout the rest of the movie, like, a lot.
It kind of, they try to put it in one scene, and it doesn't play well at all. But yeah, the scene, it's there, he's in a shower, and then all of a sudden, she's behind him, and then the shower starts pouring blood, and it's this stark white shower, and it's very visually striking, and it more plays to what I associate with Neil Marshall, and that's what I think I liked about it, is it was just kind of cool. Yeah. And that's okay. You can just have things like that in a movie if it's not that much screen time.
Also, Nimue is the Lady of the Lake in Arthurian legend. That's who Nimue is.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the same.
The movie doesn't
entity.
directly state it, I think, at all.
No.
I only know that because I'm a nerd. For certain Arthurian bullshit things, but
hey, I played Lancelot in my high school production of Spam-A-Lot, so I mean, I'm kind of a historical record on the subject.
But I assume, like, once again, I've not read far enough into because this story arc is from like 14 years into Hellboy's existence. I've not gotten into that.
Jesus.
But Hellboy stories generally play with like the tropes of these stories and these, because it's usually real legends and I shouldn't say real, but from our world.
Fictitious,
legends that play into, they have some sort of sense of reality even though they didn't happen.
Yes, and normally they're, he puts like a twist on them, and I assume the Lady of the Lake thing and her also being this like evil blood queen in the actual comic applies to anything. I assume that in the original thing it probably is like a story point, like her betrayal of King Arthur and Merlin or whatever, but none of that is in here as an element at all.
If it was, I may have recognized that she was the Lady of the Lake, but because it's so disconnected, I didn't even think about it.
We've already described 2 out of 3 of the deleted scenes, but the third one is Nimue throwing some quips around with some police officers. She's like, ew, gum, it's so destructive to the environment, because she picks it off of a tree or something.
How does she know what gum is? She's from Arthurian times. Like,
yeah, but she immediately knows what it is and the consequences of it on the earth.
Gum cannot decompose. It is an affront to nature.
And a cop comes up and tries to stop her because she's goofy looking and suspicious, and he's chewing gum, and then she kills the cop.
Yeah.
That's the deleted scene.
Unlike some of the other deleted scenes, that's very much a deleted scene. Something that has like no purpose.
Bad.
Terrible.
Good job for omitting that.
The other, one is just an alternate scene, and the other one is one that should not have been deleted.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a full mixed bag of deleted scenes. You don't get that on many discs.
Yeah, because like I think we sort of mentioned it before, but it's like you usually get scenes that you go, oh yeah, I see why this was cut. I see why this hit the cutting room floor, because it doesn't contribute to the story, or it's too long, or whatever. But I don't think I've ever seen one that has just this diverse of a roster of scenes.
It's 3 different deleted scenes representing 3 different types of deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating.